Okay, so in this screencast, I'm going to attempt to upgrade one of my projects from an older version of Pegasus to the latest version of Pegasus. So this, I'm going in cold, there might be some stumbles here and there, but this video will be a little bit less polished than some of my other stuff, but hopefully it will be useful if you are upgrading a Pegasus project. So I'm going to use this branches approach. This is the Pegasus upgrading documentation, and I'm basically going to try to follow this branches approach and see how it goes. So with this, the first thing that we're going to do is we're gonna create a branch for the upgrade. And I don't remember if I did this already. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm in my project here. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And I'm going to list the branches on my project. So I have this Pegasus branch already that looks like it was created from the beginning of my project. So I don't have to do this step. If I were doing this, I would go to the Stack Overflow page that's linked here from the Pegasus docs and go through these steps to find the very first commit in the repository and create a new branch from that commit. I won't show that part. But so what I am going to do is I'm going to check out the Pegasus branch. So check out Pegasus, which I already have. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is make sure that my branch is up to date with my current Pegasus version. And so to find my current version, I'm just going to look at my Pegasus config file, which says 2022.3. This is already raising a flag because I think on the main branch, it's actually 2022.4. So I've actually already merged this project once, it looks like, but I probably didn't follow this process. So we'll see how that goes. That'll be a wrinkle. Let's go back to the Pegasus branch and let's just follow this process and see what happens. Right. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my branch is up to date with my current version. So I'm going to go to saspegasus.com. And sign in here. So Twitter Shift is the project I'm working on. And so I'm going to temporarily just use the 2022.3 version, which is the version that matches the one in my Pegasus config file. So I'll save that. I will download the code. And while that's going, we'll see. So download your current version and unzip the code. Okay. Fine. So where did that go? That went here. See, I've been playing with Dolly. So let's extract that here. And we will go into this directory. And so we're going to copy the Git folder. And so let's see. Now we're going to look at the change log. It looks like there is quite a lot of changes. So this will be interesting. Um, let's see here. It is asking. It does think I have a lot of changes here, which I'm confused by. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to look more closely in my. I'll just do it in this one terminal. Okay, so it looks like I've been merging this branch into Pegasus, which is generally not how you're supposed to do it. So I think this is actually the wrong branch to be using. I think I want to use the pure Pegasus branch, perhaps. Maybe the pure Pegasus branch has the yeah, okay. So I think the pure Pegasus branch is actually what I named the one that has this thing that I'm working on. And that's still the same version. Okay. So let's go back to our downloaded project. We'll remove the Git folder. And we'll do that copy command again. Okay, that looks much better. So these are the changes that that exist between the version of Pegasus that that we had in the repo and the one that we just downloaded from saspegasus.com. So we can look at these changes a little more closely. These look like downgrades to me. I just kind of recognize these as mostly changes that that don't belong here. So what I suspect happened is that I upgraded the code to a later version, but didn't actually commit this Pegasus config file, maybe. So I'm actually going to change the base version here to 2022.4. I suspect that somehow I got 2022.4 mostly merged into this project and didn't fully merge it or something. So let's go back there. And we'll use this one. Okay. Oops. And let's do that copy again. Now let's look. Okay, this looks a little more promising. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to quickly go look through these changes and make sure they all look reasonable. That seems fine. Not sure what's happening with these social accounts components. We'll skip that for now. Components, social accounts. Okay, I think maybe this used to be split out into a few different templates and they just got merged together. I think that'll be okay. Yeah, these all look like trivial changes. Secret key gets regenerated every time, so you're always going to have a conflict here. I'll just ignore that. Okay, so merge 2022.4. Okay, good. So, and let's push that up to stream. Okay, so now, that wasn't up to date. How is that possible? I'm so confused. Oh, this is not going great so far, but at least it's authentic. Did those changes get in? No. Wait, now I'm in the wrong folder. Okay, I think those changes did get in. It's possible I already did this and something strange happened. Anyway, not off to a great start, but we will press on. So I think step 1 is done. So now we'll do step 2, which is upgrading the code in the branch. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to upgrade the project on Pegasus.com. So I'll go from 2022.4 to the latest available version now. I'll save that. I'll download the code again. Okay. We will, where's that? I don't know why that folder button isn't working. But we'll extract this one. And now we'll go in there. So it does get a little complicated with all these different versions, but you mostly can just delete them as soon as you're done with the work, because all the hard work is happening in the Git history. So now we'll copy that Git directory again, and we'll copy it from where we were just working. So from, I guess, Twitter shift. Let's see, I don't get autocomplete if I put that there. 2022.3, 1. Oh. Okay. So now we should still be on the pure Pegasus branch. Nope, now we're on the Pegasus branch. What the fuck is going on? Oh, it's because I did the 2022.3 instead of 2022.4. 2022.4. 1. Okay. pure Pegasus branch. Okay. Okay. So now these are all the changes that we want to commit. And I'm glancing through these changes just to kind of see that they look right, which they do. You don't, in the pure Pegasus branch, or the Pegasus branch if you're following the upgrade guide, you don't actually have to really look at them. So let's just kind of go blind, and we'll just commit everything. Okay. Upgrade to Pegasus 22.7. Okay. I've got some aliases set up. So PUO is just push origin. S is status. I recommend using git aliases. Save you some keystrokes. Okay, so we are done with step 2. And now we will merge it into our main branch. And so I'm going to do that back in my real repo. So I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to first I'll pull those changes that I just pushed from the other directory. Okay, so I've got the upgrade in there. And then the instructions recommend merging directly into the main branch. CO is just checkout. I'm going to make a new branch for it, the upgrade, just to be safe, just to be paranoid. So upgrade 2027. Okay. And then I'll do git merge pure Pegasus. Okay. So that was pretty good. Mostly merged. I did get a few conflicts, which we can look at. So requirements.text. Let's take a look what happened there. That's not the right requirements.text. Okay, so looks like it looks like certify has a version conflict. I'll just take the later version here. And python.env. You know what? In a requirements.txt file, I don't even have to worry about this stuff. So I'm going to look at the requirements.in file, since that's the one that actually matters. And so Pegasus, the only change is in the requirements.in file is that core API changed to DRF Spectacular. That was a change in the latest Pegasus version. So I'm just going to regenerate the requirements.txt file. Let's see. But it's probably not going to okay, whatever. I'll just delete these things. These merge conflicts. I'll take the later version of Sentry. Strip. Okay. And then I'm just going to recreate that. So that's I know I have the right stuff. So yeah, okay. So now this looks good. Mostly just getting package upgrades here. Some dependency changes. DRF Spectacular has been added, and its dependencies have been added. Okay. Yeah, so that one looks fine. Let's see what the other conflicts are. Social account login, and so let's see what happened here. Oh boy. So this is a pretty big conflict. Let's see. Yeah. So I think I'm mostly going to ignore this change. This app that I made had overridden the social account login page because it's a Twitter app, and so I think Pegasus probably made some minor changes to this thing, but I'm just going to assume that I don't care about those and that I want to use my normal login page. And after we, let's see, okay, so now we look at the diff and there's nothing there. And let's see, so the top navigation also had some changes here. And I just look at these diffs by looking at the files. I'm sure there's better tools to do this. So if you want to leave something in the comments saying, I can't believe you look at diffs by hand like a caveman and you should be using this tool, that would be helpful. But let's see. So in the version for this project has got all this stuff here. The version in Pegasus has all of this stuff. They're pretty different. And I don't know exactly what happened in the Pegasus one. So maybe I'll go look at the Pegasus one and see what changed there. I'll just actually find for stuff like this, the GitHub UI is better than anything else for sort of looking at diffs and stuff. So let's go check out that pure Pegasus branch, and we'll look at the commits, the last commit we did, and the file we're looking at is topnav.html, which I guess because this is a big diff, it's not even loading that file yet, but we'll get there. Templates, where's the folder? Web components. Templates, web components, top nav. Okay, so what happened here? It looks like it really did just kind of change a lot. Although I do wonder how much of this is potentially a white space thing. I don't know if this will work. Some places on GitHub you can pass this w=1 thing to ignore white space. We'll see if that works. Also, is there like a file? Yeah, a file tree. So that's what we want. We want top nav. I'm not sure why that's not working very well. Maybe it hasn't totally loaded everything yet. No, I'm confused. There, topnav.html. Okay. Yeah, so that did that white space thing did help. So now we can see okay, so this piece about if request.user is authenticated, do some stuff was removed, and instead a check got moved down here. So that's what Pegasus changed. And I think those are good changes that I want. So I'll make kind of an equivalent change here. I'll just remove this bit here. And then I'm still going to delete most of what is left here, but I will only display this thing if the user is not logged in. Okay. I think that's mostly right. And again, one nice thing you can do now is we can add this file back, and then we can go look at the diff that we're adding. And this looks mostly like the right type of change. This bit on the bottom has me a little confused. Makes me wonder if I swapped the order of a nav and a div by accident, or if I messed something up there. Let's see, and yeah, that looks like I did do something like that. And then somehow there's an extra div. Okay. So let's try again. Okay, well now it's a lot worse. Probably because of white space changes. But I think that's right. And so let's run this bad boy. That's a novel idea. Right, we have new Python packages. So we'll install those. You use Pegasus, you do these merges, you get all these library security updates for free. Hopefully they don't break anything that you've added. They are tested with Pegasus. Okay. And so, oops, sorry, that's something else running. Okay. And so now when I'm testing an upgrade, I mean, the first thing I'll look at is the place where there were conflicts, because that's always kind of a likely place where you might mess something up. This looks good. The top nav was one thing we're looking at. It looks all right here. And the other was the sign up page. And sign up also seems to be okay. This looks good. Continue. Okay. This is probably I just don't have the Twitter API keys and stuff sorted, but I don't think any of this changed. So yeah, so this is looking pretty good. I will now, as a final-ish step, so I will commit. What did I do? Yeah. I'll commit this. Although I'm just gonna do that through the GUI because I use this git GUI thing. I know it's, if you're a real developer, you'd do it all in the command line. But yeah, I use this thing. The package log file. I don't know why this isn't in the repo. I normally keep the package log file in the repo. But I guess, well, let's just see on the main branch if, this diff. Let's see on the main branch if the package log file is there. It's not. But and how did it get generated from this upgrade branch? Because Pegasus doesn't normally ship with a package log file. I'm not sure where that came from. But we won't worry about it for now. So I will push this to a new branch. And then, you know, I use pull requests in my own develop workflow. It's kind of silly. I create the pull request and then I usually just immediately merge it. But somehow just kind of going through the motions, scrolling through the files a little bit. We'll get our CI will run. That's a little bonus. We'll wait for that to finish. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to look at this diff. It's kind of a monster. But I'm going to assume that this is mostly correct. The important thing is that it's not, like, if we look at the file tree, you know, it's not trying to delete stuff that we've added. You know, like in this project, I've added a few apps, like this Feeds app and this Twitter data app, and it's not touching those, which is good, because that's often an upgrade problem that people run into is you try to do the upgrade and Pegasus doesn't know about code that you've added, and so it just tries to delete it. But if you do it this way, if you follow this branching workflow, then if you do it correctly, it should never try to delete you know, code that it doesn't know about. So yeah, so let's see if the tests have passed. Oh, Django tests are failing. Let's see what happens. Invalid cursor. Okay. Custom user.customer ID does not exist. So probably what happened is there's a problem with our migrations. API migrations. Had some changes, but nothing else. Customer ID does not exist. Well, let's run the test locally. I wonder if this is taking longer than I would normally expect it to. I wonder if this is somehow related to the build failures. Let's take a closer look at this. So, undefined column, users, custom user, customer ID does not exist. Okay, so we got the same answer. Well, let's see if there's any migrations that need to be made. Add field customer to custom user. Yes. Because Pegasus did add that field, but Pegasus doesn't by default ship with the migrations for it. So this is actually a useful failure mode that I will add to the documentation, which is that after upgrading, you should also run make migrations to make sure that that you get any new migrations that Pegasus may have added for you. Yay. I'll commit add new migration. Okay. Isn't it nice having tests? Okay. So these are going to run for a bit. So I think I'm basically done here. I'm assuming that we're going to get a green build momentarily. And yeah, so in terms of notes for myself, so I might change this workflow, this merging workflow, and at least add a note to potentially do that in a separate branch. That was useful. If I had not done the pull request, then I wouldn't have gotten the test failure, and I wouldn't have known that that I had broken something on the main branch. And then I'll also make a note about database migrations and the fact that sometimes you will need to add any database migrations that have failed. So yeah, those Django tests will just take a little bit longer to run. But yeah, so let's see, how long I think this has been running about 40 minutes or so. Not the smoothest process in the world, but 40 minutes to get a whole bunch of new features and code cleanup and updates and everything else is not the worst thing in the world. And yeah, if you have any feedback on how you think this process could be smoother, or suggestions on anything really, let me know. We've got a green build, which is exciting. I'm going to merge this, and my project should be upgraded. Cool. So that was upgrading a project with Pegasus. I hope this is useful. Sorry about the length and some of the missteps along the way, but we got there. And I will see you next time. Cheers.